This is how you make a cast shadow in Photoshop?
Perfect, honey. Okay, well here's how you make a cast shadow in Photoshop. So I have Ryan here, and we've already cut him out using a mask. But the thing that is messing with us and makes him look pasted on is that he doesn't have a cast shadow. Now he also has green legs, but we're not going to deal with that right now. So I'm going to take a look at the layers that we have going on right now, and he does have green legs, but he knows how to fix the green legs. Okay, so he is layer 2. So I'm going to rename this layer Ryan. Okay, now I'm going to make a copy of the Ryan layer by dragging it to the new layer button. So now I have Ryan, and now this one is going to be Ryan's shadow. Okay, so here's the deal. There is a function in Photoshop called lock transparency, and what that does for us is it will only fill areas where there are pixels already. Now Ryan's shadow is going to be black, and we're going to blur it out. So if I take a look at Ryan's shadow right now and I lock the transparency, it is going to, I can either lock the transparency or I can load him as a selection by command clicking on his body, which gives me those extra famous marching ants. Now, take a look at my keyboard. I have blue and black, and I want to fill with the foreground color. So I'm going to hit X on the keyboard, Option Delete, and you know what? I forgot to rasterize him. So we're going to rasterize the smart object, and now I'm going to do Option Delete, and now I have a black outline of Ryan, and it's directly on top of my full color Ryan. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to show the full color Ryan, and I'm going to have Ryan's shadow selected. Now here's what I'm going to do. Command T, transform. What am I transforming? The shadow. I'm going to hold down the Command key, and that allows me to morph Ryan's shadow by dragging each point independently. If I don't hold down the Shift key, it only allows me to drag it in one dimension like that. Or, excuse me, the Command key. But if I do hold down the Command key, it allows me to drag each point. So I'm going to drag his shadow to a point where it would be naturally in opposition from the direction of the light on Ryan. Now since Ryan in this picture is kind of lit from the top, I'm going to make his shadow short, and knowing that I can always transform it or move it again, I think that's about right. Now I'm going to blur the shadow. So I'm going to use a simple blur here, filter, blur. I'm going to use a Gaussian blur, which is one of the simplest types of blurs. And I blurred it about 50 pixels. And I actually want a little bit more of a body shape on Ryan. So I'm going to play with the blur until I get about what I want, which I think is about 30 pixels. Okay, now there's one problem with Ryan's shadow at the moment, and that's that it's opaque. So we're going to, for it to be realistic, we need to take the opacity of that layer down. So I am going to take the opacity of that layer down by dragging it until I feel that his shadow is appropriate for the landscape that he's in. And I think that's about right. I don't want too much shadow or it starts to look unrealistic. Okay, so I'm going to just dock the layers panel for right now. And now look at the difference between, ignoring the green legs, look at the difference between Ryan with the cast shadow and Ryan without the cast shadow. That will make a difference in the realism of your project. Thanks for watching and have a great time doing multiple me.